Hey there everybody, Phil here for AndroidCentral.com, and I have here in my hot little hands the Verizon Casio gzone, actually it's pronounced gzone Commando. That's how you say it. Let's end all the debate. So it is a rugged phone. It has a rubber shell all around the thing, and down at the bottom you have a cool little speaker grill effect. I like that a lot. You have exposed screws. Really do love the industrial design. It looks and feels rugged, right? Let's flip it over and see on this bezel you have a camera button for the 5 megapixel camera on the back. You have little doors that cover the micro USB and 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. Look how far down the headphone jack is in there. I'm not sure if you can see it, so you might have issues with some headphones. Around on the back, so there is the camera, and you get a big sticker on the back. This actually tells you how to open it up and put the battery cover back on, because the phone is water resistant, so you want to do it the right way. So there's a little lock slide down there at the bottom, and you just slide it, and actually the cover comes off pretty easily. Haven't had a problem with that. So here is the battery, and it will come out thusly. You have a little tab on it, and you grip it with your fingers. You grip it with your fingers, there, and it pops right out. And under there, you have the micro SD card, so you gotta take the battery out to get to it. And actually, there's a little trick to this too. So it slides and then pops out. See there, it pops out, springy. And then you slide the little thing back and it's locked in place. Kinda cool, actually. I like that, except for that it's under the battery, so you gotta deal with that. But let's see, let's pop the battery back in. Very simple process. Now the giant sticker that is on the back tells you how to reattach the battery, and you have all these little dots, so you gotta slide that back into place and then firmly press down on each dot, and that will supposedly keep it all water resistant. I've had a little bit of problem with mine in that I'm not quite sure I have it in all the way. You know, I'm pushing on the dots, but the ones in the middle feel like they're raised up a little bit. I'm not sure if that's me or if it's the design of the phone. It's supposed to be that way, so there is a little play in mine, so we'll just have to see. Flip over to the other bezel, and we've got some buttons. So we've got the power button and the volume rocker, and a cool little actual function button, plus these little dock connectors. So we will get into that action button here in a second, but now I want to power it up. Let's talk a little more about the phone. So it has a 3.6-inch display. It's WVGA, that's the usual resolution you are used to. I already talked about the 5 megapixel camera. You got your buttons down at the bottom. They are capacitive. Your camera has a flash, which is nice as well. The battery, which we were just playing with, is 1460 milliamp hours. So it should last you a good little while, I think. You should be able to get through a whole day. We're going to test it out and see. The phone will come with an 8 gigabyte micro SD card installed, which is nice. Weighs about 5.4 ounces, so despite being rugged, it's not heavy, right? Really actually feels fairly good in the hand. I was kind of surprised. All right, we are almost done booting up. It's, 5.1 inches tall, so it's not a small phone, but it's not as huge as it could be. It doesn't feel like you're carrying it around in a giant case or anything. So here we go, we're booted up, and you have a cool little lock screen here. Slide to the left to turn the sound off, or slide to the right to actually open things up. And here we are at the home screens. It's a custom user interface, so pretty self-explanatory, pretty easy to use. You got a compass on the main home screen. How cool is that? I'm not sure how much I'll actually use it, but they are actively marketing this phone for people who are outside, and you'll see more about that in a second. So let's see. Here is a widget you have with the weather, and it's actually kind of cool. It tells you what clothes to wear. Is it jacket weather? Can I go out in my really short shorts? No, I don't do that. Let's see. Ooh, did you see it? You saw it, didn't you? We'll go back to that in a second, but here is Social Beat. It's like all the other phones you've seen all tie in Facebook and Twitter and all that social stuff, and MySpace, how about that? So you can tie all that into one app here. They call it Social Beat, and there it is, guys. This thing is binged, hate to tell you. So you have Bing Search, you have Bing Maps, which again, in and of themselves are not bad apps. They're actually pretty good apps. I just don't want them on an Android phone, or at least not by default. So there's Bing Maps. You have the data counter, cool, Bing, usual browser. So now let's get into some of the active stuff. So they have a walking counter widget on here, and actually a pretty cool app. So this one has some preloaded routes, so if you're not there, obviously you'll have to make your own or download them, or however you go about doing that. But it's got a pedometer built into it. That's pretty cool. I'd like to see that on more phones, actually. What else do we have? We have tidal information. Cool. So if you go, out at the beach, you're swimming, you go fishing, you go sailing. I used to use the tides when I was sailing all the time. So high tide, low tide. It's also important if you fish, definitely. And you can see what time of day it is right now and where we are in the tidal cycle. So that's pretty cool. And Santa Monica, California is not where I am, so you got some options within that as well. All right, so here is got usual kind of widget toggle settings. That's good to see. Ooh, we got a flashlight on here by default. Nice. Let's turn that off. Android Market, blah blah blah. All right, so here is the little gear. We'll call it the gear app, and you actually got a bunch of cool little apps here. So there's a thermometer. And let's see, current temperature 74.8. That's probably about right. Let's see, and it's trying to figure out where I am. All right, and then it tells you city information as well. So New York City, how hot it is, LA, Anchorage, cool. I'm far away from all of those places. And then it will give it to you in map form as well. That's kind of cool, right? It's a neat little app. Again, not sure how much I'll use it, but if you're outside and traveling around a lot, definitely. Let's see what other little apps we have in that. How about, let's see, ooh, sun position. So sun and moon position. Let's see how this works. And so it thinks we are in New York City again. And there's the sun up in the sky, and so that's where the sun is in position with the horizon in New York City right now. Cool. Neat little app. Of course, you could look up, I guess. Well, that was kind of tough in the city. You have stars, Stargazer. So this isn't quite as good as the Google Sky Map, but it's different. So it gives you a neat little option. So you have different kind of UI on the horizon. So interesting. Let's see, here are all the apps we have installed. There's Bing, you got the usual browser, camera apps, City ID. Why can't people, does anybody actually use City ID? If you do, email me. Let's see what else we got. Gallery, and there are the slew of Verizon apps. You just can't get away from them. So there you go, guys. A real quick look at the Casio Gzone Commando.